Your attention span is shorter than a goldfish's. Actually, that's a lie. It's worse. A goldfish can focus for 9 seconds. You're lucky if you made it through that last sentence without thinking about your phone. Every time you multitask, a physical piece of your cognitive potential dies. Science calls it context switching. The samurai called it a death sentence. Right now, your brain is fragmented, broken into 1,000 tiny pieces, scattered across browser tabs, unread emails, and social media notifications. You feel busy, but you're achieving nothing. You're running a marathon on a treadmill, but what if you could stop? What if you could tap into a state of focus so sharp it feels like a blade? The Japanese called it Ichigyo Zammai, the rule of single action. It's the reason a master swordsman could stand perfectly still for 3 hours and then end a battle in a single millisecond. It wasn't about speed. It was about a level of focus that modern humans have completely lost. In the next hour, I'm going to show you how to reclaim it. I'm going to explain why your current productivity habits are actually rotting your prefrontal cortex. I'm going to reveal the neurological attention residue that is keeping you tired, anxious, and stuck. And most importantly, I will give you the exact protocol to enter the state of Ichigyo Zammai. If you leave this video now, your brain stays fragmented. You stay part of the distracted masses. But if you stay, you'll learn the one skill that makes you elite in a world of noise. Let's start with the lie you've been told since birth. You think you can multitask. You can't. When you think you're doing 2 things at once, you're actually just vibrating between tasks at high speed. It's like a light bulb flickering so fast you think it's constantly on, but it's not. And every time that light flickers, you lose power. Stanford researchers found that heavy multitaskers, people who think they're good at it, are actually worse at filtering out irrelevant information. They're slower at switching from one task to another. Their brains are literally less efficient than someone who does one thing at a time. Think about that. The more you try to do, the less you actually accomplish. This is the fragmented brain syndrome. It creates something called attention residue. When you switch from task A to task B, your brain doesn't move 100% of its power. A part of your mind is still stuck on task A. You're trying to write a report, but 20% of your brain is still thinking about that Slack message you just read. You're half working, and half work leads to a half life. Now, imagine the opposite. Imagine a Zen monk raking gravel. He isn't thinking about lunch. He isn't thinking about the next stone. He is the rake. He is the gravel. This is Ichigyo Zammai. One act, total absorption. Why does this matter to you? Because focus is the new IQ. In an era where everyone is distracted, the person who can focus on one thing for 4 hours straight becomes a god. They produce more value. They earn more money. They feel less stress. But how do you get there? How do you go from a dopamine-addicted scroller to a focused elite? The answer lies in the shadow of the blade. In ancient Japan, a samurai's life depended on his ability to perform a single action with total presence. If he was thinking about his family, he died. If he was thinking about the glory of winning, he died. He had to be mushin, no mind, but mushin is the result. Ichigyo Zammai is the practice. It starts with the kill the tab ritual. Look at your life. How many open tabs do you have? Not just on your computer, but in your head. Unfinished projects, unanswered texts, half-baked ideas. Each one is a leak. You are a bucket with 100 holes, wondering why you can't hold any water. Step 1 of the Ichigyo Zammai rule. You must close the leaks. You need to understand the switching cost. Every time you check your phone, it takes your brain an average of 23 minutes and 15 seconds to return to deep focus. Do the math. If you check your phone 4 times an hour, you are never in deep focus. Never. You are living your entire life in the shallow end of the pool. But there's a darker side to this. It's not just about productivity. It's about your happiness. A fragmented brain is an anxious brain. When your attention is scattered, your nervous system is on high alert. You feel a constant, low-level sense of dread. That's because your brain evolved to focus on threats. When you give it 20 things to watch, it thinks there are 20 predators in the room. Ichigyo Zammai is the cure for modern anxiety. By narrowing your world to a single point, the predators disappear. Now, let's talk about the 5-minute wall. When you try to practice Ichigyo Zammai, your brain will scream. It will itch. It will demand dopamine. This is the withdrawal phase. Your brain is a junkie. Most people hit this wall and quit. They pick up their phone, they just check the news, they fail. To master your mind, you must learn to sit with the itch. You must realize that the boredom you feel is actually your brain healing. It's the sound of your neural pathways realigning. The samurai didn't just practice swordplay. They practiced tea ceremonies. They practiced calligraphy. Why? Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. If you can't drink a cup of tea without checking your phone, you will never be able to build a business. If you can't listen to your partner without your mind wandering, you will never lead a team. The Ichigyo Zammai protocol requires a sacred space, a place where the world cannot reach you. No notifications, no people, no noise. You enter the space, you pick one task, and you commit to it until it is finished, or until your time is up. But here is the secret loop. Ichigyo Zammai isn't just about the work. It's about the transition. Most people finish one task and jump immediately into the next. That's how you build up attention residue. The master takes a moment of ma, a gap, a breath. Between task A and task B, there must be a vacuum. You reset. You clear the slate. If you don't reset, you're just carrying the trash from the last room into the next one. Think about your last work session. Did you feel heavy? Tired? That's because you didn't practice the clear cut. In Ichigyo Zammai, when an action is done, it is dead. It no longer exists. You don't worry about the email you sent. You don't stress about the mistake you made. You move to the next single action with a clean soul. This is how you sustain elite performance for decades without burning out. Burnout isn't caused by working too hard. It's caused by working on too many things at once. It's the weight of the unfinished that breaks you. So, what is your single action right now? Is it watching this video? Or are you eating? Are you walking? Are you thinking about what you're going to do next? If you aren't here, 100% you are wasting your time. Stop, breathe, feel the weight of your body. Listen to the sound of my voice. That is Ichigyo Zammai. It's that simple and that difficult. We are moving into an era where deep work is the only thing that cannot be replaced by AI. Algorithms can multitask better than you, they can process data faster than you, but they cannot intend. They cannot bring the weight of a human soul to a single point of focus. That is your edge. If you lose your focus, you lose your humanity. You become a biological component of the machine, a consumer, a data point. But if you reclaim your focus, you become a creator, a master. The samurai knew that the mind was a wild horse. If you don't lead it, it will lead you usually over a cliff. The Ichigyo Zammai rule is the reins. In the next section, we're gonna dive into the neural forge. I'm gonna show you how to physically restructure your brain to make focus your default state. I'll show you why your to-do list is actually a trap and how a to-don't list will save your life. But before we move on, you need to make a choice. Are you going to keep living a fragmented life? Are you okay with being a goldfish? Or are you ready to forge a mind like a samurai's blade? The choice happens in this second. Not tomorrow, not in the next video. Now.